I went from this to this in 9 months. Stick around to find out how. Hello everyone, semi-retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. You may be asking yourself, Bob, what in the world are we watching here? Well, we're basically just you're watching me walk. I know that doesn't seem super exciting, but considering 9 months ago I could not do this, I could barely stand for 2 to 2.5 minutes without severe pain. Now I'm out here walking every day. I average between 5 and 6 miles a day. Yes, I'm retired. I spend a good chunk of my day just walking. I, of course, don't do it all at once. I tend to have a max of about 2.5 to 3 miles before I need to sit down and take just a little bit of a break. But that's getting a little better every day as well. As you can see, I'm wearing my heavy blue coat and my hat today. It looks like it's nice out. The sun is shining. It was 75 degrees yesterday. Today, about 42 when I started walking here. Now this is the coldest day of the 7-day forecast. I mean, it's supposed to get up to 65 tomorrow and climb on through the week. I can't actually see Saturday yet because my phone won't show me Saturday till tomorrow. But unless a storm's rolling through Friday night to Saturday morning, it looks like we should have some pretty decent weather for the walk with Bob. And if the weather ends up being nasty and everybody decides to cancel, that's okay too. Oh. But today we're going to talk about a little thought I had. I have no proof. I don't know if it's a good thought or not a good thought, but it's something I'll need to start thinking about more seriously as I get closer to goal. My guess is I still have at least 30 pounds to lose. But we'll see where my body decides to stabilize at. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Looks like everybody's left again. Pastor Jorge was here and Miss Jessica was here when I came up to fill my water jug for the day. And now here I am out here all by myself again, which is kind of the way I like it. It's nice and quiet out here on Saturdays. But yep, so don't forget there's some rocks on the parking lot there. I'll kick those off. Don't forget this Saturday coming up. Of course, you guys will see this tomorrow. It'll be Sunday. But today's Saturday here, so it's 1 week away from the walk with Bob. If you are planning on coming, don't forget to send me an email so I can make sure I got enough burgers for everybody. But yeah, this thought I had. You know, we always talk about how much fat you should have in your diet. You know, I would say you should start at least 1.5 to 1. And up at 2 to 1 is what most people consider ideal. Some people go straight up 1 to 1. But I think what we're eating, and this is just my thoughts, and no scientific evidence whatsoever on this. This is just my N=1. I think while we have a lot of excess body fat, we can get away with eating less fat. Not that eating fat makes you fat, but if you're at a 1:1 or 1.5:1, and your body wants just a little bit more fat, once we're fat adapted, it has a very good source of fat that it can get to very easily. And that's the excess fat you're carrying around on your body. But my thought is, as we approach our more ideal body fat levels, that fat will become harder to access. And it will be even more important to make sure we're getting enough fat in our diet. And once again, it'll be just as important to make sure we're eating enough. And that's one of the keys, I think, eating enough. I mean, I've been thinking about what things are going to be like down later in the summer, and I still do very well with one meal a day. But I may try, after I get to goal weight and think my body fat levels have gotten to about where they're supposed to be, then maybe I'll try 2 meals, but one big meal still and one smaller meal, because I did get a little hungry last night, but that's partly my fault. I only had a pound of ground beef, 1 can of tuna, and 6 boiled eggs, which is not quite as much as I usually eat. But anyway, let me know what you think about that idea. I'm just kind of stabbing in the dark here. Don't really know what's going to happen as I get closer to goal. You know, I want to talk about maintenance some for this last week and a half of February, because there's a lot of people interested in it. But it's something I don't know a whole lot about yet, because I haven't reached that yet. So if some of you that have been doing this for a couple, 3 years, and you've been maintaining for at least a year, want to drop me some comments and hints at the bottom of this video, let me know about some of the things I should be talking about this last week and a half of February. I'm happy to do that. But one other quick subject. It's not going to be very interesting to most of you, but it is interesting to me. I still get the occasional comment that, you know, they're having gout attacks and should they cut down meat? What should they do? I came across an interesting fact. You know, where gout patients are always told, well, you got to eat a low purine diet to keep purines down, because purines cause uric acid to get high, and that's what causes gout. And come to find out, that entire chain of thought is just stupid. Because even if you ate the highest purine meal you could eat all day, every day, your body will still make 5 to 10 times more than that, all on its own. And they say that the high uric acid levels, leads to those crystals getting into your joints, and that's what causes the pain. That doesn't hold up to muster either, because a doctor friend of mine has made a video talking about this, and he's seen hundreds of patients and drawn synovial fluid from them, which is the fluid around your joints. And if the little glass-like shard crystal thingies were what's causing pain, then how come not everybody has gout? Because almost everybody has uric acid crystals in their synovial fluid. Gout is an inflammation problem. And what causes inflammation? Well, standard American diet. Seed oils, grains, sugar, fructose in particularly is very bad. And that's one of those really stupid myths. Truck coming. One of those stupid myths, and you'll hear it if you've had gout or have gout. One of your friends, and they mean well, but they're going to say, "Oh, I've heard that drinking cherry juice is really going to help you out." That's just stupid. Sorry. It's a wives' tale. It's some myth that has managed to survive. Because drinking any kind of fruit juice, whether it be cherry juice or pomegranate juice or orange juice, or pick your favorite fruit juice, that's just loaded with fructose, and it doesn't have any of the fiber that's in the actual fruit to slow it down. So you're literally, when you drink fruit juice, you're literally blasting your system with an instant injection of fructose that can cause inflammation. Drinking cherry juice will make a gout attack worse, not better. And that's one last quick thing I'm going to say about gout, and then I'm going to shut up. Everyone always, and they mean well, they really do, but everyone's got their own opinion on everything, on what causes this, what causes the other thing. No, it doesn't matter if it's gout or whatever thing you have that's causing you pain. All of your friends are going to act like they think you're stupid. So they have to come and give you all this unsolicited advice about, well, this might help your pain, that might help your pain. And if you're within, the first few months, I totally get it. But to walk up to somebody who's had gout, like me, for 40 years, and say, "Hey, have you ever tried X?" Well, duh. Trust me. If someone's been in pain for 40 years, they have tried everything. Even to the point where if they read somewhere on a website that standing in the middle of the main street naked singing the Star Spangled Banner would reduce their pain, they would try it. They'd get arrested, of course, but they would try it. So I'm just saying, don't be that guy. But now when it comes to suggestions about the carnivore diet, by all means leave those suggestions down in the comments. Because we're all just sort of stumbling through this thing, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. One other quick warning here, not really a warning, just a caution. I didn't even realize that there were people that were doing it, but there are some people that, because they can't afford, they're in my boat, they can't afford the very best meats. They buy that imitation crab meat and imitation seafood at the grocery store. You have to kind of be an ingredient detective on those, because a lot of those are going to have grains and seed oils and all kinds of other crap that we don't want. I'm not saying don't eat it. It's just like hot dogs and bologna and Spam. You have to know what's in it and then make your choices based on what's in it. But don't just blindly buy the fake meats, the fake seafoods that you can find in a grocery store, like crab spelled with a K. I'm not saying it's bad. There might be some good ones out there. I don't know. I've never bought it, never tried it. I've heard of it, I've seen it. But yeah, if you're using some of that stuff, just like I know, if I have Spam one day, that there's going to be some carbs involved there. Probably not enough to kick me out for the long term of ketosis, but I do know there's carbs there, so eating Spam every day is probably not the best idea. Although I did that for a couple of weeks, and it didn't seem to slow me down, because if Spam and bologna and hot dogs are what you can afford, that's still hundreds of times better than eating the standard American crap. Any highly processed food that has seed oils and sugar and grains, which is just more sugar and some kind of binding agent to hold it all together. Yeah, don't do any of that. I'm glad I got out here and got a few laps in to get my video made outside where it's nice and bright and sunny. But I haven't been able to walk very fast, and my joints don't feel real good today because it's cold out. Hopefully my body will adjust to temperatures at some point, because at 42, 43 degrees back in Omaha, I wouldn't be wearing a hat, wouldn't have been wearing my heavy coat. I'd just be wearing a hoodie or some other light jacket. So hopefully my body will adapt and adjust to the 100 and 40 pounds of insulation that are gone. We'll see what happens. Yeah, this cold is just brutal. But again, it's supposed to get up to 65 tomorrow. It's not supposed to rain, so hopefully after church is all done for the day, I can get out and get some good walking in. I'm not even going all the way over there. I'm going to start angling back to the truck. Because in these temperatures, I've had enough. This is just crazy. And then people wonder why everybody's sick. Well, temperature going up and down and up and down and up and down doesn't help a thing. And it being pretty much the coldest winter on record here in North Carolina. I'm not saying they've set any low temperature records, but the overall trending, I mean, I've talked to people at church that are in their, 70s and 80s that have lived here in this area their entire life. And they say that they cannot remember a winter this cold and wet in this part of the country. So I know this one was kind of short, kind of went all over the place. I'll try to do better tomorrow. Don't forget to get out, be 1% better today. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.